So the Wheel of Time has ended for you. You've finished A Memory of Light. Now I'm going to take the moment here to say spoiler warning for the Wheel of Time because some people wouldn't get that from the premise of this video alone, which I find to be just absolutely ridiculous. But yes, spoiler warning for the entire Wheel of Time series, starting 3, 2, 1, now. The last battle has ended. The circumstances in the world are delicate, to say the least. The future relationship between the White and Black Tower is uncertain. The Shawan are rapidly going to rebuild, their culture and army taking a massive blow from the last battle. Everybody stands at an awkward peace. Elaine, now queen of multiple kingdoms, has the potential to possibly build an empire. The Aiel are set the task of strong-arming peace across the land. These are the topics I would like to cover here in this video. This video is not meant to be the most referential, accurate to the book's predictions. It's just one mega fan's thoughts on what could be. And obviously there are 1,000, if not 1,000,000 other things you could dive into and predict the future based off of, but I would like to look at these key factors that I feel are highly important to the near future for the world of the Wheel of Time after A Memory of Light. The first of these we're going to look at is the relationship between the Black and White Tower. There are several factors that are very important here. First is obviously the reputation of the Black Tower. Several people think, due to the occurrences of the last battle, the Black Tower and men who can channel will just be universally accepted and praised. I find that to be in direct contradiction to the evidence we are given from Robert Jordan repeatedly. Throughout the Wheel of Time, we see stories, events that occur, twist, be mistold, retold improperly, and we are shown how eventually they are just complete falsehoods or misrepresentations of what exactly happened. I do believe the Black Tower and men who can channel's reputation will eventually be redeemed. It just won't be within a century or maybe even more. It will take a long time. Therefore, the Black Tower is at a bit of a disadvantage to the White Tower. While the White Tower is heralded as this guardian of the world, the savior of the people, and will probably just benefit from the last battle in terms of its reputation, and maybe these stories that twist what happened will even just say, oh, all the men went crazy and served the Shadow because there were male channelers serving the Shadow. They will be still the beacon of hope for the wetlands. This does not mean the Black Tower's strength should be completely ignored. No, they are still, in terms of strength of individual fighter, the most dangerous fighting force in the world at this point. And their extreme focus on combat channeling, I believe, will actually result in another point of tension between themselves and the White Tower. Now let's focus on that developing relationship with the White Tower. They have some things that point towards a positive future. The Aes Sedai who have bonded and in return been bonded by Shawan do provide a channel for diplomacy. Now, the Red Aja from the White Tower seems to be reassigning its goals to somehow babysit or watch over the Black Tower and its development. At the surface level, this does seem like a positive thing, but I do believe it could very rapidly become a point of contention. One of the core philosophies of the Black Tower's development left by Rand al'Thor, the Dragon Reborn, is a self-dependent development. He did not come to help them when they needed, and an outside influence at this point could be very unwelcome. Red Sisters, who only until recently were gentling men who could channel, I highly doubt will be allowed to walk freely among the Black Tower and its residents. This, along with the idea that every Shawan should be bonded to an Aes Sedai, certainly a controversial idea many will push back against. I do not see a unification between the Black and White Tower in the near future at all. An alliance, possibly. A steady peace, likely. But I do not see them becoming one entity. As time goes on, I do think these divides will become less prominent, and eventually, many centuries down the road even, we will see a full unification between the Black and White Tower. but not in time to be a unified force to the greatest threat I believe to still be within the wetlands, the rebuilding Shawan Empire. Now, many people like to point to Avienda's visions as a clear dictation of what will happen in the fight against the Shawan, but they forget the Dragon's Peace is mentioned, but Avienda's late addition as the Aiel as a policing force is not. That changes the future that is confirmed. The future Avienda sees is not one the world will experience, since the united Aiel will be acting as this police force. Now there is a united force against specifically the Shawan if any violent action is taken. The Aiel and the wetlands are one force against Shawan aggression. What we can do, though, is look to Avienda's visions for some indicators for what might happen after the last battle, specifically around Tuon's rule and her attempted changes to the Shawan culture. In Avienda's visions, we hear of Tuon's assassination and the continued use of Suldam and Damani. Therefore, her changes fail. We are provided little to no evidence that this is a future which will no longer occur. Some may point to men serving her, but that seemed like it already would have happened. The same with her conversation with Arthur Hawkwing. We have no reason to believe that did not happen in the future Avienda saw. My take on the matter is, religious extremism, which the Shawan culture seems to echo greatly, does not alter just because contradictory evidence arises. People will not want the dismissal of the Suldam and Damani, fundamental to the Shawan power structure, just because they have evidence saying they may be wrong. They do not care. They will continue using them to cement their own power. It is not about truth, it is about using tools to maintain rule. Tuon, with Mat's moral guiding at her side, will fight for this cause and lose. Her assassination is the inevitable result in the future I am predicting. This might actually provide a wetlander advantage for a decent amount of time. A civil war could ensue, at the very least a drastic power struggle to reclaim the throne under one rule. The best case for the wetlands is a civil war erupting among the Shawan in the ensuing power struggle. But in the future we saw the Shawan were under one rule, and again there is little to no evidence showing us this will not happen yet again. A rule which still believes the wetlands are rightfully theirs, and the Suldam and Damani are a tool to simply be used to achieve the gains they need. I do believe conflict between the Shawan and the wetlands is inevitable. The only question is who strikes first. Many believe the Shawan would be the first to commit an open act of war. I disagree. Let's look at the situation in the wetlands. The most powerful ruler within the wetlands post the last battle is undeniably Elaine Trakand, having multiple kingdoms under her rule and the undying love of people across the continent. Elaine does not trust or like the Shawan. Her closest friends have personal experience with Shawan treachery, and in the years after the last battle, especially once a new order arises within the Shawan, that treachery will continue. Blows from the Shawan Empire, indirect, through mercenary groups or subtle, devious means, will wreak havoc among the wetlands. The Shawan trying to do anything within their power to prevent a unified wetlands, sowing discontent, so when the eventual, inevitable war they see coming arises, their position as a united empire will be all the more beneficial. I believe the wetlands, after uncovering direct evidence of these attempts on sowing discontent among their nations, will begin plotting an all-out attack, and the Shawan will be prepared. This does reek of being eerily similar to Avienda's visions of the future, where we saw the Shawan at war with the Aiel, weakening them drastically, and then Andor directly attacking the Shawan, slowly bringing multiple nations into an all-out conflict. Some of those under Shawan rule have been okay with their tyranny, but most have great hostility, if not outward, open, and blatant hatred toward their religious beliefs, their practices and culture, and their desire to conquer the rest of the wetlands. Most notably, almost every single Aiel we meet within the series. The question is, will the Aiel be willing to join the fight and break the treaty and fight alongside the wetlands? I believe so. Once provided with direct evidence of Shawan treachery and manipulation of politics, this can be seen as a violation of the Dragon's Peace, and certainly enough for the Aiel to join in efforts to quash the Shanchan Empire. The difference this time is a unified front from the beginning. All of the Aiel clans, and most if not all of the wetland nations, marching against the Shanchan Empire at once. The outcome here would likely be very different, but I cannot speculate beyond my own belief that a unified Aiel clans alongside the wetlands, a white and black tower that might not be unified, but definitely working together, could certainly repel the Shanchan from their shores once and for all. But here is where I bring the question to you. Again, this is purely my speculation on the evidence we are given within the text of the Wheel of Time, but I ask, based off what I have presented, what do you believe the outcome will be? Do you believe my logic is flawed? Where do you believe the future of the Wheel of Time leads? And of course, I'd like to record a special shout out to my two latest high-tier Patreons, Wendy Fairful, and I'm gonna give this my best shot, Nittenshin Gamer. Nittenshin Gamer. I did my best. Message me if you'd like me to do it again with a different pronunciation.